All right, so our final guest is Terry Burney, and um, Terry is an author with BK Royston Publishing. They're a friend of the show. And as a matter of fact, on next week's show, we're going to have Julia Royston with BK Royston Publishing and Shanitha Burton with She Publishing because they're going to be at the festival. And so they're going to give you all an update on what they've been doing since they were on last, what you can expect from them at this year's festival. I know they're both going to be on a publishers panel. And so, and Julia's doing her own seminar on how to build your brand with your book. So you're going to be able to meet them and it's going to be great. And so as soon as Terry comes on camera, I think she must have walked away. She must have logged in and walked away from her computer. There,
There
there
she is.
she is. There she is. Lydia posted take pictures. So we will be taking pictures.
Lots
And
of them doing some content,
lots
doing
of pictures.
videos.
Yeah, we're gonna be posting on Instagram and the festival Facebook page. So check it out. You tune in. And Julia Royston says she's super excited about being at the festival this year. So Terry Burney,
Hello.
welcome to Black Authors Matter TV.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Thank you for
You're
being
welcome.
here.
And your book is called What Can Toddlers Do?
Yes,
And you have a background in early childhood education.
yes, I do.
And so you
Been
have
teaching
lots
for
of
over
information for all the toddlers that you've encountered in your years as an educator. Uh, what can toddlers do? What did you want people to get from the title? Is it telling people these are things that toddlers can do that you don't know that they can do? Or are you
Yeah,
just okay? All right.
no, the things that toddlers can do.
Okay.
And people always ask me, what can you teach a toddler? And I always say, first of all, they know they are intelligent little beings that everything is brain development for them. So they're learning everything. Their brains are just like a sponge.
Yes.
So you can teach them how to do everyday chores. You teach them manners. You can teach them to listen because they're great listeners. They just don't have language.
Right.
Okay, now when
I
you
think we forget
And a
that
toddler is the age.
toddlers.
I was
I'm
gonna
sorry.
ask about the age of a toddler. That's what I was gonna
Yeah,
ask.
Oh, the
How do
age
you
of a toddler is 12 months to 3 years old.
12 months to 3. Okay.
okay? Now I was
Yeah, I'm
gonna
saying I
say
think
about
we
age.
forget that toddlers have their own way of communicating. Um, they understand what's going on around them.
Yes.
They may not understand it the way we understand it, but they know that there's something going on around them.
Yeah, they have comprehension and understand. They just don't have language.
Yeah,
You can
well,
ask them to do
some of
one.
them have language. Some of them do have language.
Well, yeah, they develop on their own level.
Right. My daughter was talking very early and she never stopped. When she started, she never stopped. she
I
was
love
talking, she could have do a conversation when she was 2.5. She
Mhm.
could have a conversation with somebody. And people would be amazed that she could do that. And I said, well, I talk to her like I talk to adults in
Exactly.
terms of just
Mhm.
the language, the words. They can pick up whatever
Yeah.
you feed them. They really can.
hmm And
Now,
some
is
are
it true?
language.
Is it true that and I tend to agree with it, but I just wanted to hear your take on it, that we should talk to our toddlers as regular people and not try to use so-called baby language like boo 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 goo 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 and
Yeah. You talk to
things
them
like
in
that.
regular language, just like I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
They have comprehension and understanding. The
Mm.
more you talk, the more language they'll get. If you're a multilingual family, the more language you talk in your family cultural language, they get it. They understand it. You can give them tasks to do and they can do it.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
good.
don't, as we say, the motherese, oh
Mm-hmm.
baby, you can do this and you can do that. Mommy loves you. They understand just like you and I understand.
Yeah.
Makes a lot
Yeah,
of sense.
they also can pick up on negative things too.
Right. They
So
can.
that's why you have to be very careful because, there are 3-year-olds that are cuss somebody out because that's
Definitely.
what
Be
they
careful
hear.
what you say and be
Yeah,
careful how you say it.
that's what they're hearing at home. And my mother ran a daycare center for 25 years.
Oh,
And she
wow.
used to say, you know, these parents don't realize their kids tell everything. They tell everything. Everything that
Exactly.
happens at home, they tell
We hear it. We hear it at school.
it.
Sometimes
This
we
is
do have to
true.
call
I
parents.
learned a lot of things by my daughter coming home and telling me what was going on. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they tell it. So you have to be careful. And
Yeah.
and you also, I hate to hear uh adults, and I hear it sometimes when I'm out and about. When adults, and it's normally the mother, because the dad's normally, if the dad, I don't hear dads do this. Talk like cuss at their kids. I don't
Mhm.
hear that. I don't hear dads cussing their kids, but I hear mothers doing that sometimes.
Mhm.
Um, with an angry tone, and this not good for children.
No.
Those kids will grow up and be, you know, they won't have a loving tone said to them on a regular basis. That
Mhm.
makes them harden as adults, you know.
You're
Mhm.
right. You're right. They have emotions just like
Yeah,
we do. And
yes,
they pick up on those emotions. That's where the behaviors come in. The
yeah,
negative behaviors come in.
yes, they do. So your experiences in early childhood, when did you get started in this field, and what led you, what drew you to it?
I actually started with my aunt. My mother's oldest sister, had a daycare in her home. She had single families that she babysat for, and some
Mm.
she kept overnight. And so we helped her. I helped her in the daycare, and I really love the smaller ones. Take care of them, change their diapers, give them bottles and everything. Fell in love with kids. And then from there, I started going to center-based daycares and loved working with kids. So I worked with all ages from infants all the way up to preschool.
Do you believe it's a calling?
I do. I really do. I believe it's a calling. Some people do it as a regular job, but you could tell when people actually love what they do.
Yes, you
Yeah,
can.
my daughter is a preschool teacher, and right now she's in the infant room, but she's
Oh, wow.
worked with kids up to I think 3 years old.
Hmm.
And I do believe that she has a calling because she always says that she said she wants to have her own kids one day, but she's like,
Hmm.
I hate being in childcare. She says that, but then she gets to the school and the kids love her.
Yes.
As soon as they see her, they run up to her and hug her. She works very well with the infants that she works with right now,
Mhm.
and they seem to take to her. I'm like, whether you like it or not, you have a calling for this, and she doesn't want to hear it.
No, I think you're exactly right. I think you have to have a calling for it. And some people don't recognize it. And when
Right.
you tell them, they don't want to accept it. But you can actually tell that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of my favorite things of being in childcare with the children. Like you said, loving on you, greeting you in the morning, giving you hugs, leaving their parents just to come to you from arms to arms. I actually love that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They're not crying when they're leaving their parent because they know they're going to a teacher who loves them
Yeah.
just as much.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love.
my sister, who had no years in education at all in her career, she retired and she decided to get a part-time job teaching reading in the public school.
Mhm.
And I think 5-year-olds, they're kindergartners. And she said she didn't think she was going to like it. But she said the kids are just so, they just always hug her and say they're so happy that
Yes.
she's there. And,
Mhm.
it makes her feel good. So,
And she
she really,
probably always comes home with a story because I tell you, my daughter comes home with a different story. She loves to
Yeah.
mimic the kids. And and then every time we go somewhere where there are a lot of kids, she's like, I wonder if I'm gonna run into my kids. And I know she kind of wants to.
I do that to the staff. I still get letters. I still get phone calls from my kids, some of my older ones. They do, or I'm in a grocery store and I hear Miss Terri, Miss Terri, and I go, okay, is that an adult? Someone I thought of, and then I turn over and I go, okay, who are you? And then sometimes they'll tell me how old, and I say, first thing I ask is, how old are you? And I go, oh my God, I remember when I taught you. I really do.
yeah, well, children remember the teachers that really cared.
Mhm.
That's a memory you have for life.
Yes.
Teachers that really impacted you, and they're the ones who care. And a lot of them are tough. When
Yeah.
you get to the higher grades, my tough teachers are the ones that really had the biggest impact
Mhm.
because
Right.
they
Right.
did they expected us to do our best, to put forth the effort, and they got the best out of us. And so
Mhm.
that's what people remember. So your book that you wrote, What Can Toddlers Do? What led you to write a book about it?
I had was going to write a book about actually poetry. And then someone gave me the idea. You have siblings. I have siblings in my classroom, and I've taught kids that have families. And I have one family now. They have preschooler, a toddler, and an infant. An infant's in my room
Wow.
now. And they said, "Well, you have siblings. Why don't you write a book about siblings?" And I said, "You know what? That's right. I can." And then it occurred to me, like I said, I was in the grocery store. Someone said, "What are you in early childhood?" And I said, "Yeah." They said, "What age do you teach 5?" And I said, "No, I don't teach 5. I teach toddlers or young toddlers." And that was the question. What can a toddler do? What can you teach a toddler? You can't teach ABCs, but you could teach them math. You're doing numbers every day with everything you're doing. You're doing it, you're building, your construction, your engineering with the Duplos, with the Legos. People don't realize that's math, that's
Yeah.
science.
Mhm.
And so
You
that's what you're teaching them. You're teaching them how to take care of a house, how to take on interaction roles that you do by washing the table. Give a child a paper towel, let them spray the table with water, you do the soap, they're wiping off the tables.
Okay.
Taking
Yeah.
care of a baby doll, you're teaching them role play, how to take care of a baby, how to
And they're
teach.
internalizing all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And
They are.
they're probably doing it at home too because they learned it in school.
Hope so. Definitely.
Yeah, a 3-year-old or two,
But I have
they
siblings,
can
so
they
they
can
teach
learn
it with their
ABC.
babies. You see it. I'm sorry. What did you
Well,
say?
I was saying two and a half, they can learn the ABCs. They
The,
might not be able to recognize them all the time, but they can sing the ABC song,
oh, they definitely can say the
and then they can see them
Well,
from that.
I don't
That's how
know.
they
When I
start.
used to sing the song, I thought elemental P was one word.
yes, we hear a lot of that. We laugh.
That's like that word. It's an onomatopoeia. It's the word that means that a word is a sound. It's a long word that ends with Pia. I can't remember what it was because I haven't heard the word in so long. But I'm gonna look it up when I get off the show. Anyway, but yeah, they toddlers, they are very smart, and they can actually be bilingual.
Mhm.
Easier to teach them more than one language up to the age of 8. I saw a talk show that had some language teachers on it, and they were saying that up to the age of 8 is very easy for a child to learn two languages or more than one
Right.
language simultaneously.
Right.
But after the age of 8, it becomes more difficult. Not impossible, but age 8 seems to be the point where it's more challenging. But
Right.
before they can just, like you said, and they're sponges. They can
Yeah.
so
The earlier you can get them, the earlier they learn. And it's a lot of it could be cultural too. You learn it at home, you learn the different languages. I have families that are bilingual, that are multilingual. Dad is from another country, mom is from another country. They're raising them here. So they're learning English in school.
right.
But when
Right.
dad comes in or mom, they're both speaking languages, and this child can comprehend and understand exactly what they're doing. Go get your code in Spanish. They're doing it.
Yeah.
And they're not even 2.
Yeah. A
So,
lot
yeah.
of
Did you
times
show
when,
us a copy of the book yet?
yeah, she
showed you
did. She
what
did
the
at the
child
beginning,
do.
but
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay,
Mhm.
now I remember.
in the beginning. But you can always show it again. So people can see it. And that looks like a proof.
Yeah, this is a proof
Mhm.
of it.
Yeah.
That was the first one that came in, and I did a lot of
You
things
did
in
some
it.
edits.
Yes.
So what can toddlers do? Is it a book you read to toddlers?
Yes. I've read
Okay.
it to my classroom, and the 2-year-old classrooms has it, the 4-year-old, 3 and 4-year-old classrooms have it, up to the 5 and the 5.5-year-olds, and the families throughout our daycare, because they order it from Amazon.com, or they
Okay.
order it from me personally.
Okay.
So
And
they
so
have
this,
it in their home libraries too.
okay. So this is your first book.
This is my second book.
Okay. So your first book. Oh, Long and Tall. That was the
Yes.
first
Yeah.
one. So do you have a
First
copy of
on
Long and
top.
Tall? Okay. So you in that book you talk about, what do you talk about
The
in that book?
various ways of transportation that children get around the cities. And it's in the names are in different languages too. So it's a journey about children taking various ages, taking their favorite modes of transportation, traveling to their destinations with the grown-ups they love.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Now did I see a giraffe on the cover?
Mhm.
No.
yeah.
Okay,
She-
is that a mode of transportation?
This one is
Is that a mode of transportation?
for some people.
you have a bus, you have a bike. I'm sorry.
Okay, you have a bike. Okay, so I saw the
And a
giraffe. I
bus.
didn't know if the giraffe was supposed to be a mode of transportation.
Yeah.
So
I
that's why I
think
was
that
trying
would
to
be a
figure
fun
out.
book
I think,
for kids when they are traveling with their parents,
yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes.
especially those long trips when you're going from state to state.
Yes. Thank you.
So do you have another book you're working on? Are all of your books going to be geared towards toddlers or children? Or
No, I think my next book will probably be about family. Probably my nieces and nephews.
How do you
Some of the
choose your
stories that,
subjects?
huh?
How do you choose your subjects?
What interests me, what I have a passion about. I love my toddlers. I love my classroom. I love my family.
Love it.
Yeah,
So when do you think you're going to be starting on the next book? Not that we're rushing you.
no, I was, I
Probably
was,
sometime next year.
okay, yeah, because if you're on a roll, you have to keep it going.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
keep the momentum high.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes it's like that. I need to, next year is my year to do a couple more books. This year I decided I wasn't gonna do another one this year,
How many
but
books have you written?
15.
Wow.
Well, you know, when I did my first one, I never expected to do any more.
Yes.
So, and then on this show, I meet people who've done 30, 40, 50, 60,
Yeah.
100 books.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, wow, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
And then some of them
Wow.
still have full-time jobs and they're
Yeah,
able to do all of that.
yeah, I don't know
Wow.
how they do it. I come up with all these different stories and people and places and
Hmm.
storylines
Sometimes
upon
until you
lines.
start, you go, okay, how can I input that in a book. You know, sometimes it just, you know, you say, okay, I'll wait on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So somebody said, how many kids did you teach? This is Lydia. She's a regular viewer. You probably don't know that number, huh? Or do you?
No, I've been teaching
Yeah,
since I was 17 years old. I'm 62 now.
okay, so
So
you a lot.
that's
Oh,
a
so
lot
it's
of
been
years.
Yes,
it's
it's
been
a lot.
over 30 years because I thought you had been teaching for 30 years, so it's been more than 30 years.
Actually, in a center-based daycare, I probably have been about 30 years. When I started with my aunt, I was 17 years old in her home daycare. So,
Okay.
Wow. Yep,
yeah.
that's definitely a
It's a
calling. You would
calling.
not have stayed
Mm.
as long as you did
Mhm.
if it weren't a
You
calling.
you really have to
So
love
I love it. I actually do love teaching kids. I really do.
That's
That's
wonderful.
better for me.
Well, I'm
Because
as a
they
parent,
tug at
thank
your heart.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, because it's dedicated teachers like you who have a real impact on kids, and they know what they want to do and who they want to be and how they want to be because of teachers who are dedicated. There are kids who have been given up on, but because a teacher cared about them, they were able to turn that around. So I thank you for just the love that you've poured into the children.
Thank you.
Yes. So people can get your books, both of them, Long and
At
Tall and What Can Toddlers Do, on Amazon.
Amazon.com, and they're both on BarnesandNobles.com.
They're also in the Royston Children's Bookstore.
Yes.
Okay. So
Mhm.
at bkroystonpublishing.com.
Yes.
Yeah, we put all the links in the chat so everybody who's watching can go ahead and click the link. Purchase a book for a teacher in your life, for a child, a toddler in your life, a
Yes,
parent.
please.
Lots of different people
Yeah.
can benefit
Yeah.
from this book.
Or a daycare center.
Yes.
Thank you.
There are lots of those everywhere. Well, thank you, Terry, for being a guest on Black Authors Matter TV. We really appreciate you.
Thank
And
you so much.
congratulations on publishing your book.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's my
You're
pleasure
And
to be.
thank you for being
welcome.
here. Have a great evening.
You too now.
Thank you.